standing at the top of the pile.
And as a team as well, we kept saying they were a test team when they arrived in Sebring. They'd done a lot of kilometres in testing. Obviously, as a new team, you're allowed to do more testing miles than an established team like the likes of Toyota. But still, you're not a race team. This race is the first time I've seen them be a race team.
Not hearing Earl Bamber in the number 2 Cadillac. For whatever reason, you guys are. I had my audio turned off.
Yep, 9 minutes to go, and we're closing in on history. 1973, the last time a factory Ferrari team entered here. 1965, the last time a Ferrari factory team won overall here. Master Gregory and Jochen Rindt in the Ferrari 250 LM. I was 1 year old.
I was minus 20. 38 Hertz Team Jota coming out, as is the number 5 Porsche, ready for the final lap. 94 Peugeot should leave the pit lane now as well. They're going to need to find some pace to make sure that they are classified as finishers. DKR have finished their final pit stop, and it looks as though the number 5 Porsche, unless it leaves, is not going to make it. Well, those two guys, their teammates Rio Hirakawa, they know what it takes to win Le Mans. They've done it plenty of times. Looks right now as if it may not be their turn.
For info, if we do 3 minute 38 lap times, we reduce 1 lap from the race.
Okay.
That seems like more of an order than a message.
Yeah.
That seems like definitely the right thing to do.
Yes. If you do 3 minute 35s, we have to.
Yeah,
the whole
that's all an ass. I race this. I know that's ridiculous.
Lift and coast, not necessarily
Oh,
go
wow.
slowly, not lose your focus, just lift and coast.
No
Ferrari
way.
51 leads from the number 8 Toyota Gazoo Racing car. That is the line now for what should be the anti-penultimate time. Cadillac Racing's number 2 car at the moment, completing the overall podium positions in the classes into Europol, 16.3 seconds ahead of Team WRT and the Kane team. That's what it means to Albert Costa.
Yeah, focusing on the phone. Don't think about it, don't look at it, wait for it to happen.
Yeah, the problem is that the internal combustion engine doesn't know there are 6 minutes remaining. The gearbox doesn't know there are 6 minutes remaining. It doesn't know what time is. It doesn't live by time. It just does its thing, and when it breaks, it can break.
And actually,
It's going to be okay.
It's going to
and in the Europol car, because it's not got a radio, Fabio Schiller doesn't know
Absolutely
how much
right.
time he's got left
Absolutely
either.
right. But that is right. How many times we have to have this race through drama matters before we start making assumptions? That's why I'm calling it as I see it at the moment. In GTM, it's this car, magnificent run from the Corvette racing team all season to this point. Double points for the WEC, that's less important right now. To Ben Keating, is watching the TV and the car tracker. They are way ahead of the ORT by TF Aston Martin Charlie Eastwood, looking to bring the 25 car home. What a day for the tiny nation of Oman.
Like any Gen Zs would be doing, just go straight to the phone. If you want to preoccupy yourself, straight to the mobile
What
phone.
did drivers do before there was Twitter and TikTok to watch and WhatsApp? You know, what did you do when you didn't have a phone to distract you? Couldn't
It's
do
something to
anything
focus
else.
on, isn't it?
We were stressing like Ben
Here's
Keating. That's what we were doing.
that they paced and they went out back and smoked a cigarette.
Oh, yeah. This is like Ben Keating. This is how the young'uns do it. Just go straight to the mobile phone.
This is how difficult this race was. 3 safety car periods, 3 hours under safety car, and lots of full course yellow as well. Ben Keating is just all over this, isn't he?
Yeah.
Before we forget the final podium position at the moment in the hands of GR Racing, they have fought for that position all day, all night, and all day again. Mike Wainwright, Ricardo Parrott, who's at the wheel of the car at the moment, and Ben Barker winning a battle, and boy was it a battle with the Iron Dames, with 5 minutes to go.
And it is, yeah, that's going to be a tough break for the Iron Dames. They've been in contention for a podium here at Le Mans all the way through the race. They've led, they've been in the top 3, they've been in the top 6, always on the lead lap, and just to miss out by 10 seconds, that's going to be a tough one.
for many, many years, one of the most popular sporting shows in America was ABC Wide World of Sports, and its famous opening was the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Well, I don't think I have seen in a long time a better picture that shows agony of defeat than the look in poor Brendan Hartley's eyes just moments ago.
Well, we saw Michelle Gatting as well, very red-eyed in the Iron Dames garage when it seemed that they were going to lose that podium spot that they've been fighting so hard for the last few years.
But just finishing this race, you're a winner. I know that sounds like,
It does sound trite, but
it's
boy,
not.
this is
It's
one of the
not.
toughest things you'll ever do in sport.
And I learned that the first time in 2000 when my first time back after my since 1995, and to see the teams that may have finished fifth or sixth, but had fought back from great adversity or a crash to finish the race. They were just as emotional and joyous at the end of the race as the winners were.
Yeah, I think it gets to that point, doesn't it, where if you're in contention for a win, of course it's going to hurt, but there's a point for many of these teams where the objective has become get it home. Last lap for the 2023 24 Hours of Le Mans. Alessandro Pierguidi on, I'm sure, will be a phenomenally emotional tour of the Circuit de la Sarthe. 12.626 kilometres to take it all. The glory, the headlines, but most of all, the win of this great race. And what a race it has been. In depth look at the tribunes, absolutely rammed. But how many of these cars have actually won? Martin Ava, bring them home.
24 hours ago, everyone was a winner. One of the busiest grids I've ever seen in motorsport, and what looked like one of the most relaxed. Everybody excited just to start the Centenary Le Mans, to be part of a packed field of talent in GTEM, in LMP2, and especially in this burgeoning hypercar class. And for everybody, a capacity audience of more than 300,000, the celebrations that had built up to it, it was just a big party waiting for the starting signal. 24 hours later, quite incredible history is going to be written here again at Le Mans. The last time a factory-entered Ferrari raced in the 24 hours, it finished in second place 50 years ago. 50 years later, the team again started from pole position. And they are on the final lap of this epic voyage. Car rolled out at Fiorano less than 12 months ago, beginning the physical part of this development program of the 499P. And the Ferrari AF Corsa team have worked relentlessly since, testing, formatting, homologating the car, and then bringing it to America, taking it to Sebring to start the FIA World Endurance Championship season. Ferrari, Cadillac, Porsche, Glickenhaus, and Floyd Van Wall came here to take on the established benchmarks, the multiple winners, the 5-time consecutive Le Mans winners, Toyota Gazoo Racing. And they all had a chance to lead. Almost every car in hypercar at some stage led the race. Toyota lost a car early, Ferrari lost a car early in the night time. And Peugeot and Porsche struggled more perhaps than would seem fair. But in the end, one team only can come away with victory, and incredibly, it seems that Ferrari will complete that fairy tale story. Half the history of this race has gone by without Ferrari, one of its most successful marks. And when they return, they have got 2 GT multiple world champions in the car, and they are going to end up with victory here at Le Mans. And we will have 3 different hypercar brands on the podium. Ferrari victors, Toyota taking second, and Cadillac Racing in third position. As the clock reaches 4 o'clock Central European Summer Time on Sunday in Le Mans, it is going to be victory in the centenary race for 51 Ferrari AF Corsa. And it is Alessandro Pierguidi, I'm sure in floods of tears, who takes the checkered flag. What an enormous moment for the team, for Ferrari fans across the globe and for that trio of drivers. Ferrari wins Le Mans. Astonishing race in the LMP2 class. The first ever Polish winners into Europol. Fabio Scherer, who had his foot run over by the Corvette early in the race, has hopped in and out of the car and with his teammates have brought this tiny, literally family-owned and populated team to the very highest accolade in their division of the sport. Into Europol competition, win LMP2 from WRT with Duquesne in third place. A huge result for that small French team. But look at this, just can't believe the celebrations. Toyota Gazoo Racing, Rio Hirakawa will bring the number 8 car to the line in second place ahead of the numbers 2 and 3 Cadillacs. Corvette Racing will claim victory. After 50 years, we are back. That will be clipped up and across social media while the caption is still on there.
Antonio Giovinazzi, Ferrari have won Le Mans outright. How does that sound to you? You've all worked so hard.
Yeah, really emotional. I have no word, to be honest. You know, it's I think this since I was a kid. Now me here with Ferrari winning Le Mans is just a special day.
I've got goosebumps, so I just cannot imagine how you feel. You can go and celebrate with your team now.
Thank you very much.
Of a very Italian party, and Cadillac Racing, what a result for these guys. Third and fourth for the number 2 and the number 3 cars. 3-1-1, the Action Express car also running. They get all 3 cars to the line. What a great effort, and great for GM, great for Corvette Racing, their final Le Mans in this format. And great for Ben Keating. He wins again as Nicky Katzberg brings the car across the line.
Fabulous stuff.
Yeah.
Let's go from this effort. Third place, by the way, secured after a late run. Trying to get to the back of the GR Racing team. 5 seconds short, though, it will be GR Racing behind the RT by TF. And this is our LMP2 Pro-Am winner.
Yeah. So Pro-Am victory going to Algarve Pro. Colin Brown bringing a car to the line. Congratulations to those guys. Again, small team.
And Colin coming back after his last appearance here in 2008.
Colin Brown, a week ago, let a lady switch seats with a lady on the airplane because she was afraid of flying backwards. And I told him when he did it, I said, you know, you might get some good karma next weekend.
There you go. There you go. And what a sight. This car, when it rolled out at Sebring, looked like a race car, and boy, has it behaved like that.
Jakob Skamosty, 34, is the LMP2 Le Mans winner. That is just incredible for you to achieve.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible, as you say. It's a dream come true, and I think it's all what we worked for the past years, and it's just, I'm just speechless that it happened. Really speechless.
So happy for you. Albert Costa joining the team this year, and wow, it's paid off.
Please call me the oldest rookie of the championship. I'm rookie, I won Le Mans now. But I can say I'm lost of words. This is amazing.
Well done.
My dad.
I'll go and let you see your family. Well done.
A huge number of tears here. That tiny team into Europol, they've barely been racing for 10 years. They have started in regional sports car racing in Europe, and it has grown and grown through the entire ACO ladder. From the Michelin Le Mans Cup in LMP3, they moved into LMP2, and then they have moved into the World Championship. And Chip Ganassi gets a car on the podium at Le Mans, and that's something that he will remember a very long time.
And he gets one over on his old friend Ron.
He has.
Well, 2 Peugeots, by the way. How much better did they do than we thought they would coming into this race.
Yeah.
The other quick thing, it is the first Polish team to ever win a class at Le Mans. And you're right, family-owned team, very proud indeed. Quick thought for our friend Martin Fleming, who played a great big part in the development of this team. And this, by the way, is only their second ever race win in LMP2.
Wow,
The first came
impressive.
earlier this year in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, fantastic for them. Hi to Cara and our thoughts as well. And great thanks for more than a quarter of a century of helping us out, helping me out particularly, to great Fiona Miller, who has just finished, or will finish later this evening, her last Le Mans. But there, James Collado, he's been in Victory Circle, he's been on the podium, he's never been the first one out.
Yes, not like this.
Not like this.
Arteta, the man behind this effort, the man that's been tasked with delivering this, I'm sure, for arguing with what's been required to make it tick.
And Charles Leclerc in there somewhere, enjoying the delights of a very different Ferrari team claiming victory. What a thing. And by the way, we also saw the Garage 24, the innovative entry, Hendrix Motorsports, their NASCAR Generation 7 Camaro, the boogity made it all the way through. They might have had to have rebuilt the tranny, but you know, what's an American classic car if you don't have to rebuild the tranny occasionally? There you go.
I may never forgive you for the boogity.
That wasn't my fault, but I'm taking that. That was a great addition to the field this year. Let's hear from Toyota Gazoo Racing.
Kamui Kobayashi, that was one hard Le Mans.
Yeah, obviously yes. I think we did everything what we could do. I think Ferrari did a great job, amazing job. Unfortunately, I think we had not enough pace through the race. And Micah also had a very bad luck during the race. It was not our day, but definitely we will come back strong. And I think team this time made really strong. Everybody be together. So only one goal to winning. And really thanks all the team, all the effort from Japan, from Cologne, and of course Mr. Toyota-san, Morito-san, and our president Sato-san back in Japan. Yeah, and this time our grandfather, hybrid grandfather, Uchiyama-san came as well. It's really shame we couldn't win, but yeah, I think we have to become strong. Thank you.
Thank you.
What's it going to be like in Maranello on say Tuesday when these guys show up with the trophy?
I was going to say,
They walk into the
they'll still be recovering from their hangovers.
walk into the Formula One shop, put that bad boy up there, rub on it with their sleeve.
Well, and the deal
There you go,
is,
fellas.
the deal is, of course, that it's not your standard 24-hour trophy. It will be a unique trophy. The Centenary Trophy will be very different. They will get their own personal Le Mans 24-hour replica trophies. What a wonderful moment for fans of motor racing everywhere. Ferrari is such an evocative name. They've been part of the sport. Really, you know, since the post-war years, they've been just one of the dominant names in the sport. And to take victory at Le Mans, and not just in a single car field or, you know, with no opposition, in one of the toughest races in years and years and years. And actually, to my great delight, that's what the Centenary race will be remembered for. Yes, all the fun and all the show and the old cars and getting great names back here and all of that. Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. But in the end, we will remember this as, wow, do you remember that race when Ferrari came back? Wow, that was, we said at the beginning, this could be one for the ages. It was.
I don't think we quite believed it, did we? I don't think we quite believed how good this could be. The greatest thing about this race, it's not that Ferrari had won it, it's that Ferrari had to fight for it.
Yep.
And we've had great winners in this race, but great losers as well, and in depth. And what we've seen through the last 24 hours on this fabled track is ample evidence that there's more and better still to come.
And the fact of it, Jim, is that Toyota could have won it easily. Cadillac could have won it easily. Peugeot on pace could have won it easily. Porsche could have won it easily. You know, yes,
Steve Jota.
actually, probably Glickenhaus couldn't. Probably almost certainly Floyd Vanderwall didn't have the pace and longevity. But the 5 big hitters, they all led, and they could all have been on the top spot.
They all had their
Lemans
chance.
shows these guys.
That's right. And you said that at the beginning of the show. It isn't necessarily on paper who's going to be best. It's who does Lemans choose.
Yep.
And Lady Luck has shined down. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is a lucky win, but the difference between hero and second and possibly third, look at that.
Well, the difference
Great
between
glorifier.
51 and 50
Yeah.
is 0, other than
One
Lady
problem.
Luck.
That's right.
Lemans shows 51.
One problem. That's right.
That's all it is.
In a class that is now dominated by factory entries. Can barely believe we're saying that. All of them have got headlines they can take home and justify this. All of them.
Yeah.
Glickenhaus bring home a headline that says, we are still 100% top 10 Le Mans finishes with every car we've ever entered. There is one entry and one entry only that ends with another headline they'd like to write, and that is the 704 car. But that's Team Jota. Could have won this race.
They
Could
do
have
hold
won
the
this
record.
race.
They do hold the record for most starts without finishing.
There you go, exactly right.
And the fastest lap of the race, that went to Antonio Fuoco in the number 50 Ferrari. The Toyota number 8, that had the fastest time in the first sector of the race, but the fastest time in sector 2 and sector 3 both went to Antonio Fuoco in the 50 car. But for now, it is all about 3 men and 1 car. Antonio Giovinazzi, you can see, James Collado will get in the other door. Alexander Greedy, how many years do you think he aged while he was busy control deleting in the final pit stop in the final half an hour?
Oh my God.
Look at those images. Look at the stands.
The shot of Collado just with his face in his hands.
Look, this is back to the absolute zenith of Group C, but there are more grandstand seats and there is more standing area on the straight. I can remember watching the beginning and the end of the race, Jaguar versus Porsche versus Mercedes, all of that. It was like that. It was shoulder to shoulder. It was elbow to elbow. But there is more here. There are more facilities now than ever before. There's more viewing. There's more toilet blocks. There's more showers. There's more catering. There's more everything.
It's a better event. It's a better event.
Yeah, more than 300,000. Getting off for 350,000 people watching us, and that's aside from all the caterers, all the security staff, all the people working in franchises and shops and everything else, and all the VIP guests.
And a worldwide audience.
Yeah, and that's before we even turn on the TV cameras. Yeah, just the crowd here alone justifies this as one of the greatest Le Mans races ever.
I just interject for 10 seconds to just clear up one last thing in the inbox, because there was one last investigation we hadn't called. That was the Inter-Europol investigation, and that's for the pit board reprimand.
Yeah.
The result will stand.
It would have been beyond reckless, cruel, and heartless to have done anything other than say, guys, we know why you did it. You can see all the other pit bulls, they're all firmly fixed, they can't be dropped in the track, they can't come out and hit a car. Something handheld and loose and wobbly could do. So for safety reasons, that's why it's not done any longer the old manual way. And probably that's not a bad thing, but yes, we understand why it happened. In the same way that when you go off track to avoid a much slower car and avoid an accident, we know it's not legal, but we know why you did it, so you only get a reprimand. And there is Matti Pregliasco, a man who has been instrumental in so much success for AF Corsa and Ferrari in the GT categories, and now, good Lord, wins Le Mans outright with this team of young men and this car.
Yep, a Ferrari race driver himself back at the beginning of the century, Matti, and I'm sure he could not be more proud of what he's been a part of here. Extraordinary scene.
Now then, 3-time GT Pro World Champions, James Collado and Alessandro Guidi, and they have just added 50 fat points to their championship. Could they also win the title? Okay, that's a long way away. We've got 3 more long races to go, and right now they don't care. But when they rock up to Monza, and by the way, if you can get a ticket for Monza still, come to Monza. Can you just imagine?
Question for Graham. What is the status of the 33 in the championship? Victory here.
I need to
Almost clinched it.
I need to crunch the points, but they're very close. They can certainly clinch it at Monza, and they came pretty close to doing it here. They've got a massive, massive lead. 325,000 people were here to watch this. That is the official crowd figure.
And again, 3,000 marshals around the circuit. Thank you to every single one of them. Thank you to all of the organising staff, the security staff, the people who checked us in and out when we were coming in and out of the circuit, the people who looked after everybody on the campsites, the people who have been supplying food and drinks to everybody, to our caterers. And actually closer to home, just want to say so much as ever, thanks to AMP Visual, without whom this would have been a radio show that only we would have heard. There would have been no pictures, no video, no audio. And to Alcamel Systems as well. Alcamel celebrating their 20th anniversary. They provided graphics for the World Endurance Championship and for the ACO all the way through. And they work constantly to improve what we can show you at home. And we will continue to do that. Everything at the moment, everybody is looking to improve, and they do year by year, and we will try and keep pace with that and do the same. So thanks to all of our partners, to the championship partners as well, the tyre suppliers like Michelin and Goodyear, to Total Energies who supplied the renewable fuels, not just for all the cars racing here, but also for all the tyre heaters here as well. That fuel is being supplied, sustainable fuel free of charge. There's Nicky Katzberg, may possibly wear a cowboy hat with pride again, I think, as he celebrates victory in the 33 car. There you go, and the shades. There are your overall winners, and you can see in the green and yellow overalls the guys from Inter Europol as well. There have been many men who have proudly waved the prancing horse of the Scuderia on the top step of the podium. And these are just the latest 3 to be able to do that. And in this particular branch of the sport, it's been a 50-year hiatus. That's a long wait by anybody's standards.
As for LMP2, Manley's first year in LMP2, Albert Costa moving over from his Lamborghini GT3 career. A man who had his foot run over by another class winner and a baker from Poland.
Yes.
That is quite the fairy tale story.
Kubish Witowski, the baker's boy. And there are the marshals applauding the fans applauding the marshals, and rightly so. And again, you know, every time we've been out and about in the paddock and in the village and around the circuit, it's just been joyful. It's been beautiful weather, really scorching hot weather all week actually until race weekend. So the fans have had the best of everything here. An exciting race, fantastic atmosphere, and a few really, really astonishing results. Got to spare a thought for the crew of the Iron Dames Porsche. How far behind in the end? Just 5 seconds after 24 hours off the podium, and that is a tough, tough one to take. They will come back, they will win, they are good enough, they will do it. Ferrari victorious in the Centenary Le Mans. Toyota Gazoo Racing, car number 8, the defending champions take second, Cadillac third and fourth, and then second Ferrari ahead of the pair of Glickenhauses, the better of the Peugeots, in 8th position. In the end, we only lost permanently 2 of our hypercar entries. Of our 62 starters, 40 made it to the finish line, including much delayed Hertz Team Jota car, the final car to be classified in the Centenary Le Mans. Well, there will be a very great deal of high-fiving, hugging, celebrating going on. Forward rolls in the gravel traps, yeah, why not? Kids running wild, yeah, why not? All the gates have been open. What the organisers want more than anything else is for a sea of humanity that can't be beaten underneath the podium. And joy, they're going to get it.
And we've missed that, haven't we, through the COVID
I was
years?
just going to say, that's you took the words right out of my mouth. That sea of humanity is the classic Le Mans shot.
This is what it's all about. As Don Payno said when he founded the American Le Mans Series nearly a quarter of a century ago, for the fans. That's why the teams come. That's why the manufacturers come. They come for the glory, but the glory helps them sell cars. It helps boost their image. That's why they're here. For some manufacturers, they've been doing it since day one. You think of Porsche. For some, they've been doing it for more than most of them can remember. You think of Toyota. And Ferrari, well, haven't done this for a while.
There you go, they come at the gates.
Come on in, kids. Bring the flags. Fans of all ages here. So great to see so many. And again, because of the centenary, I'm sure even more people made even more effort to make it a family holiday, or to bring friends, to bring new friends, to convert more to this glorious, slightly crazy, what am I talking about, utterly bonkers form of motorsport.
I've been here with my kid. I'm here this year with my kid.
Yep.
And close to 30 years difference between when we turned up here in 1995 and this centenary year, and the emotions are still the same. It is still and always will be an absolutely world-class motor race and a world-class event. An event on a scale not very easily matched around the planet. And the storylines, they start now. They're going to take a while for the ladies and gentlemen in the press room and then the broadcast edit suites to put together, but they include, of course, that win for Ferrari. Two of the men that have taken this win are now winners in two separate classes, including the overall, Tom Christensen and Charles Leclerc there.
Again, you can see our guys filming for the All Access programs, which will be out in around 10 days. Boy, that's, if you thought Le Mans was sleepless, wait till you try editing Le Mans and all of the different background footage you get into 40 minutes. That's a sleepless 10 days, my friends. That's a sleepless 10 days.
Before we forget, because we're going to get into the ceremonials of this quite correctly very soon, if you're a first timer watching the Le Mans 24 Hours and you've enjoyed this racing, guess what? We do a lot more of it. And we'll be racing again next month. And it's a big, quiet provincial circuit where there's going to be no excitement whatsoever. Just outside Milan, Monza, greeting their Le Mans winners. Oh my gosh, what is that going to be like?
Well, we said in qualifying that pole position surely would have put another 25,000 on the ticket sales.
I don't even want to think about it, Martin.
No, I know. Ferrari told us that the ticket sales are up fivefold on last year.
That was before qualifying.
And that was before qualifying. It's going to be a sea of humanity, and most of it wearing red. I cannot wait.
That's Jacobsen there, with Ben Keating in the middle. Nico Lapierre with his back to us at that point.
Yeah, that was in the second place car in Pro-Am category.
Yeah.
So we have 4 podiums to get through. GTE Am and LMP2 Pro-Am, LMP2 and Hypercar. The Invitational car does not get a podium. What they do get though is 325,000 big broad smiles and a huge thank you for bringing that Chevy Camaro Gen 7 Cup car to a whole different audience. There will be people here, of course, who know about NASCAR, who probably are passionate about NASCAR, about many other forms of motorsport. There'll be a whole bunch who never really gave it a second thought, but who have been noisily and excitingly converted to the possibility that going round on an oval in a pack of 40 plus cars might actually be really quite entertaining and dead hard work and all that. President of the ACO, Pierre Fior, on the right hand side there, Fred Lacan in the blazer, who runs the FIA World Endurance Championship. You saw Charles Leclerc there as well, greeting fellow Maranello representatives in that podium room. And one of the great joys about Le Mans, because it's a team sport, is you don't get that staircase of awkwardness and the pre-podium room of awkwardness that you see so often in Formula One. with 2 or 3 drivers who may not necessarily want to be that close to each other after perhaps a fractious race. Here, even if the race is very, very, very tight, in the end, when you get into that room, you're united by one thing. You conquered Le Mans. Le Mans did not beat you, and that is a tough thing to say. It's a tough thing to achieve. There's an awful lot of cars that came here. Fully a third of our grid didn't make the checkered flag, and that is a high attrition rate.
It is extraordinary, I think, for the modern era.
And it wasn't cars breaking down and falling apart and catching fire and blowing turbos. Generally, the scenery had more effect on the shape of the cars than any other item.
Yannick told us that we'd be fighting for the podium. They did. They've got there.
Yeah, the third place finish.
Absolutely. With Rennie Binder and Yannick Abinho, a Chilean racer on the podium at Le Mans. Yet another nation.
It's got to be a first, hasn't it? Even without checking, you think that must be a first. Let's take a look at our overall classification then. Ferrari, of course, victorious over Toyota Gazoo Racing. Cadillacs finishing in 3rd and 4th places ahead of the delayed 2nd Ferrari. Glickenhaus 6th and 7th, again 100% top 10 finishing record ahead of the better of the Peugeots. Interior pole, Team WRT and Duquesne fill the podium in LMP2 and in LMP2 Pro-Am. Algarve Pro's number 45 crew take victory from 37 Cool Racing and the 3rd Pro-Am car, DKR Engineering car number 15. Corvette Racing, ORT by TF and GR Racing are our podium finishers. GR taking the 3rd spot in GTE and by just 5 seconds ahead of the Iron Dames. And you can see, again, the agony and the ecstasy, the tears of joy and defeat in that pre-podium room. For every winner, there will be a whole host of teams that could have, would have, should have. And that's what makes them come back. Because whether it's someone that defeats you or a rival, either way, you've taken on the challenge and you don't want to stop until you succeed. Smiles for Sebastian Buemi and Brendan Hartley. Brendan just really looking after Rio Hirakawa. He probably feels a degree of responsibility for the fact they're not on the top step of the podium. In the end, again, it sounds slightly trite, but win as a team, lose as a team, and that is so much a part of this sport. And the Toyota crew, Kaz Nakajima there in the centre, there to greet the winners. Tom Christensen there to present the trophies as well. To James Calado, Antonio Giovinazzi. Sergio Pierguidi didn't go grey during that final refusal to fire up. But I tell you what, I bet his heart rate spikes to a rate that he's previously almost never seen.
This is the point where everybody's waiting for the podium, and then everybody doesn't want to go home, but they know they've got to.
Well, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Well, you can overnight, maybe you need to kind of shuffle off tomorrow. What we're looking at is what is going to be one of the photographs of the year, because you've got Ferrari winning Le Mans, a sea of humanity, and beautiful sunshine and beautiful weather. And these photographs will go around the world and around the world and around the world. They'll be on social media for days, if not weeks, if not months.
By the way, Alessio Salazar from Chile, but never got on the podium, remember, because he was taken out of the car and switched between 2 Jaguars.
Therefore, Martin Brundle was switched into the second car before Eliseo managed to start the car. You're absolutely right, Stuart Dent. I'm sure you were shouting at the TV to remind me. I was here, we were both here. I should have remembered. Well, there you can see the slightly different look to the 24-hour trophies. Below the Centenary trophy, still on the 4 pillars, but without the standard Le Mans 24 logo. They've got a Centenary logo as well, so those drivers will get an exceptional trophy as well. Just on the right-hand side there, you saw, I didn't see that before, the number 14 Nielsen pit board. The number 14 Nielsen car was gold with a whole series of images from the history of Le Mans. On the pit board, the famous shot of Michael Delaney saluting one of his rivals in Steve McQueen's film Le Mans. Great, I had not spotted that before. If you didn't see it, you'll have to look back and get it there. There's Gilles Duquesne,
They'll be very happy with
Arch
this.
enthusiast.
On the podium.
Absolutely. You think of another French arch enthusiast. The man with most race entries here at Le Mans, 33 entries as a driver, and then a dozen more and more than that as a team owner and facilitator. Henri Pescarolo, our very best wishes go to him, and best thoughts, I'm sure, from everybody in the booth and around the world. Henri Pescarolo, one of the great names of racing at Le Mans.
By the way, 12 podium positions up for grabs in these 4 classes, 11 nations across those 12.
Oh,
the only one repeated with 2 is going to be the United States of America.
Yeah.
What's the innovative car? Corvette Racing, of course, winning GTM, Cadillac Racing in hypercar. Every other nation is a unique nation on this podium. From the tiniest to some of the very biggest and most powerful in this sport.
First time in a very long while that the overall trophy will be awarded and followed by the national anthem of motorsport, the Italian national anthem. And that, they're all looking quite happy now. That will bring on the floods of tears.
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry, it just absolutely will. Not from me, if not from them. So here come in third place, leading the team out is Richard Westbrook. There is Westy. He wasn't. I thought he was going to be the first out the door. He wasn't. So the team of the number 2 Cadillac, they had the least misfortune of the 3 caddies. They came home in third place. The number 2 car, Earl Bamber, Alex Lynn and Richard Westbrook. Bamber on the left knows the view down from this podium. He's been an overall winner before, of course, with Porsche. Alex Lynn and Richard Westbrook. Alex Lynn carrying the colours of 5-time Le Mans winner Derek Bell on his helmet as his little tribute to the centenary of this great race.
It's going to be the first time, Martin, the 2 schoolmates have stood on the same overall podium. Brendan Hartley and Earl Bamber.
Yeah, both from
Grew up together.
near Wanganui. In fact, Earl from Wanganui. Good morning, good Monday morning to my friend on point, also from Wanganui. And there is the crew of the number 8 Toyota, Sebastian Buemi, Brendan Hartley and Ryo Hirakawa. And for the first time in 50 years, Ferrari wins Le Mans. Not in GT. The overall winners of the Le Mans 24 Hours, the Centenary Le Mans 2023. It is the crew of Ferrari number 51. Alessandro Pierguidi, James Collado and Antonio Giovinazzi. They came, they saw, they conquered. And fittingly enough, those were the words of Julius Caesar in the opening of his Tales of the Gallic Wars. And Veni, Vidi, Vici, 50 years since the last time it was done by Ferrari here again in France. And it has been a Gallic War. Since Ferrari have triumphed at Le Mans, 50 years since there's been a factory entry in the 24 hours, and the Centenary Trophy will be lifted by the crew of the number 51 Ferrari 499P. To present the trophies is Jeff Yore. He presents the trophies to the crew of the number 2 Cadillac, president of the Automobile Club de l'Ouest, whose predecessors came up with this crazy idea back in the late autumn of 1922. Team boss Matty Bregliasco looking rightly happy. Whatever else happens in the remainder of the season, this is the one. This is it. This is the whole shooting match. This is the big ball game. The second place trophies go to the team who could so easily, bar one tiny twist of fate, one turn of the cards, have been on the top step. President of the Department of the South, local governing body, and also the owners of the property. Maintain all the public roads around this region in a state in which they can become one of the world's most famous racetracks. The number 8 Toyota, Sebastian Buemi, Brendan Hartley, Ryo Hirakawa, so close. They felt like tigers throughout. It was an epic battle for victory in all 3 classes. The Grand Marshal, the most successful race winner here at Le Mans, Tom Christensen, presents the Victor's Trophies, unique Victor's Trophies with the centenary logo on the top. To Alessandro Pierguidi, to James Collado, and to Antonio Giovinazzi. The team boss gets the big one for Maranello. And the centenary trophy is going to need some lifting. I think that is best left on its plinth.
Joy pretty much unlimited, and you can see the looks of relief on many of the crew's faces, can't you, down in the pit lane?
Yeah. What are we going to fill this with? Well, the obvious answer is champagne, because we are, of course, in France.
Look at that.
Yeah. That's fantastic. That's exactly what every photographer has been hoping for. Just an absolute sea of colour and humanity. Actually, that gives you a pretty good indication of what the pit walk looked like in the autograph session. Got a few drivers' tables out there, and there you have it.
The Rolex watches handed, and a new deal signed between this famous brand and this great race. Long-term deal will mean that the winners will continue to get one of the most prized of their prizes.
Of course, Tom, don't leave him hanging. Don't leave Giovinazzi leaving Tom Christensen hanging with a fist bump. Congratulations to all of them. And to everybody who brought cars here, who brought teams here, who brought drivers here, who brought hopes and dreams here. The combination of every single one of them, all 62 teams, has created quite a remarkable event. Many faces in the photos when the trophies go up. There's such enormous things, aren't they, particularly for the winners.
Photoshop's going to be taking a beating tonight in the media room. Overwhelmed, I think, is the overwhelming emotion that you're looking at in the faces of those 3 Ferrari drivers. I don't think they can quite believe it.
I'm not sure what the Italian for it hasn't really sunk in yet is, but that's going to get bandied around an awful lot, I think, amongst our drivers. Of course, the winner's selfie. That's as much a tradition now on the podium as almost anything else. Tricolore floating in, as is the Japanese flag. And now everybody gets to smell like a winner. Banksman down below. They're lucky stars that somebody placed them downwind behind the firm object, otherwise they undoubtedly would be the subjects of some very sticky champagne showers.
Doesn't do well for your trumpet, does it?
Really doesn't. I don't think a trombone slide would work particularly well full of sticky champagne in this temperature. However, this is the beginning now of a long round of interviews and press calls and meet and greets that can only extend all the way, you should think, to Monza in a month's time. Because everybody will want to talk to the Ferrari drivers that won Le Mans. In the white shirt, Bruno van der Steek. He has been the speaker here at the Circuit de la Sarre since 1992. For anybody who's ever been to Le Mans, his voice is instantly recognisable. Remarkable scenes. 50 years is a long time not to be doing something.
Yeah.
To come back from our culture and pick it up in this sort of manner.
For those of us that were both lucky enough and unlucky enough to be in 2020, lucky enough because we know a lot of you wanted to be here, and unlucky enough because it was beyond wait. This does your heart good? That just does.
It's amazing to see you all here, and thank you. And there is no word to describe the emotion I'm feeling now. Just look at this group of amazing people, and thank you. Forza Ferrari.
There's that lot of red in that crowd, isn't there?
Merci à vous, messieurs. Merci à vous. Et encore une fois,
See the photographers there as you look down from above there, above the podium, getting those shots of the drivers, the trophies, and the crowd below.
There is the car, the image of that car will go around the world, already has, and will keep doing it. Antonello Coletta on the left, 3 winning drivers in front of a goodly proportion of the 325,000 people who are here to watch this astonishing race and this amazing triumph for Ferrari Air Corsa and the number 51, Ferrari 499P. Once again, Martin, there's the result.
Yep, Ferrari, Toyota Gazoo Racing and Cadillac Racing completing the podium in LMP2 victors into Europol ahead of Team WRT and Duquesne. What a result for two very small and very dedicated teams. In GTM, Corvette Racing are ahead of ORT by TF and by 5 seconds. GR Racing snatching the final podium spot from the Iron Dames. And the Garage 56 car coming home 39th spot. The penultimate car running at the flag. Jimmy Johnson fittingly bringing the Hendricks Motorsport car to the line. Rick Hendrick and his crew spent nearly 2 years developing that car. Chad Canals, Jimmy Johnson, and Michael Rockefeller and Jensen Button bringing the car through. We're going to take a look at our LMP2 Pro-Am category in a moment or two. Toyota still leads the World Championship from Ferrari. That battle will tighten up, and as you can see, there is a 25-point spread, one win between the crew of the number 8 car and the number 51 car. That makes life very entertaining. Look who's in third. It's the crew of the number 2 Cadillac.
There you go, it's Ferrari up to second place in the World Championship now, and Cadillac up to third. It's game on.
Toyota undefeated so far in the FIA World Endurance Championship this season, but it could happen. And again, the way I think the thing that's impressed me most about Le Mans,
They've just been defeated.
up to now. The way that's impressed me most about Le Mans and the way that Ferrari have taken it as it's as if they were never not here.
Yes.
It just has been the most natural thing. They've not been tetchy or tight-lipped or closed-doored or nervous or overthinking or second-guessing. They've just come in, relaxed and flowing, and gone and done it. Of course, now coming back and doing it again, that's another whole thing. But I have been singularly impressed by the genuine, relaxed and almost carefree attitude with which, not unprepared, not serious, not professional, but not stressed way in which they have dealt with the entire thing. The history element of it, the expectations, the hopes, all of that. Yeah, they know it's there. It's not stressing them out. Inside the team, it's a little oasis of happiness and zen calm. And that's a remarkable thing to achieve in a team that has not raced as a team until